All right, so we should be live. Are we? I guess we are. Hi guys, thanks for waiting. We had a little bit of some technical difficulties here. Again, I don't know why YouTube randomly decided to start the event 15 minutes earlier than it was originally scheduled, but we are here. Oh, and I'm hearing myself in the other. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this is obviously my first ever live stream because I have no idea what the hell that I'm doing. So welcome to the first ever Liberty Doll live stream. This is the pilot event, I guess. And if you guys like it, then we'll have some more of these. But for today, we have Guns and Gadgets here as a guest. He is awesome. He is my #1 source for Second Amendment news. And he's had me as a guest on his channel several times. So everyone say hi to Jared from Guns and Gadgets.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations on 100,000 and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, everyone, hold the Star Wars jokes. That'd be much appreciated. I'm over it. So I guess we will just dive in today. I'm trying to get in, and I know I have some super chats already. And yeah, YouTube is just not loading them up. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone and I guess try to watch everything that way. So I'm sorry if I'm slow and miss a couple of you guys. So I thought one of the things that we could chat about today, which I thought was really interesting, is there is a lot of drama that went down at the NRA convention this year. Though I feel like there's been a lot of drama surrounding the NRA this year anyways. I know there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of people unhappy with what they're doing, a lot of people kind of having a walk away moment almost from the NRA. And Jared was lucky enough to be at the convention today and this past week and has been covering the story. So Jared, give us the deets. What exactly was going on, and what is some of this drama and the heads that are rolling and all of that?
Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. My voice is fading.
Oh,
so
okay.
A couple weeks ago, a report came out that the NRA had been involved in some serious misspending and some technical violations of the nonprofit law. And that came out in a couple different sources. So I reported that right away. And hot off the heels of that, Michael Bloomberg and his crew filed an injunction with the IRS to try to get the nonprofit status of the NRA removed altogether. And that led us right into the convention in Indianapolis. And on the Thursday prior to the start of the convention, Oliver North wrote a letter basically demanding Wayne LaPierre's resignation. And he had a couple members of the board of directors who had signed on to that. Long and short of it is Wayne refused. He wasn't going to go down with the ship. And Oliver North, part of that back and forth, said, well, if you don't resign, there's some information that's come out about some misspending, and there's damaging information about you, and I'm going to make it known to the board. So Wayne stood his ground, and in the weird turn of events, he actually removed Oliver North right after he said he wasn't going to do a second term as president of the NRA. And then everything went silent. During the convention, everybody circled the wagons. And there was a lot of people who were, they would talk to you, but they didn't want to have their name associated with it. But word was that we were going to have maybe a director or two walk away amidst all of the bad stuff that was about to come out financially. And then Monday was the meeting for the board of directors, the new board. As we know, Adam Kraut didn't get on again, unfortunately, but they met Monday, and as predicted by many people there, they moved right away to go to executive session, which would remove the NRA members, from actually looking at anything that happened. You'd have to get out of the room, basically.
Wow.
So they did it under the cover of darkness, excuse me. And
Well, geez, we've seen that happen before with other things. Cough,
yeah,
cough.
yeah.
It's the best way to run an organization. Come on.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So they ended up allegedly re-electing Wayne LaPierre unanimously. And like there's
Allegedly.
76 or 77 people on the board of directors, and it wasn't what a lot of us think should have happened, because there's stuff coming out today that old Wayne LaPierre is going to be questioned by the board on $240,000 in spending that was based off of trips to Hungary, trips to Italy,
Wow.
staying at the Four Seasons, and also a $200,000 wardrobe bill that the
Oh my
NRA paid.
God.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious. That is a lot of money.
Yeah, well, for them it's a drop in the bucket, but for us it'd be setting us up for for big time.
Well, and I'm wondering because I saw some headlines about this a few months ago. I think actually also in Bloomberg that there were some lawsuits up against the NRA, and basically, I believe it was the state of New York that was just trying to basically bankrupt the NRA. And there were rumors that the NRA was basically just bleeding cash and was about to, completely drown. So I think it's interesting that now there's like this injunction and there's all this stuff going on and these, I don't really want to call it a coup because it's not a coup, but I was seeing all this stuff over the past week and over the weekend on Instagram. I think it was they were saying, oh, like there's some other group that's giving targeted harassment against the NRA and Wayne LaPierre, and I want to like they were blaming like gun YouTubers.
Yeah, well, the NRA is in a weird spot. So the state of New York has had there's a definite endeavor to try to bankrupt the NRA, from Governor Cuomo, who actually stopped them from selling their carry guard insurance, which was looked at a way to help save some of the money problems they had. That has gone belly up. And then,
well, I mean, don't you hear all the time about people saying like, oh, well, gun owners should be required to have liability insurance or some kind of insurance, and then they stop the NRA or whatever organization from selling insurance.
Yeah, it's weird. They want it both ways, that the liberals are just out of their trees. But yeah, the tough part is for the NRA, even if they're looking at it as a business perspective, they're chartered in New York for eons ago. So the Attorney General of New York has the ultimate oversight of the entire NRA. So the only way they can stop that is to either go out of business, cease to exist, and come back as something else, or stop doing business in New York altogether. Neither of which can happen.
Granted, I don't know the circumstances under which they became chartered in New York, and of course they couldn't have really known the future and what that would look like and how anti-gun it would be, but that seems like some really terrible foresight.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's Newton's law right there.
I mean, so they basically ensured that a liberal state could completely take down the entire organization, basically.
Yeah, but when they started, New York wasn't as left-wing as it is now.
True, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's one of that. It's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket thing. I just think that just
hindsight 2020, right?
As a business owner, that just makes me cringe so hard.
Yeah, it's weird how it worked out.
I mean, and granted, so at this point, I'm not even an NRA member anymore. Most of the gun owners I know locally are no longer NRA members. They've joined like GOAL, which is, for those of you that don't know, the Gun Owners Action League or Gun Owners of America, groups like that. But really, I mean, it sucks because the NRA just at this point seems so corrupt and so intent on giving away Second Amendment rights or doing these compromises, giving people the inch that's going to turn into the mile. But they're really the only big lobbying group that we have on the national level that really does much of anything.
Well, I think that's that pendulum's swinging. You got groups like GOA who are, taking up some big lawsuits. You got Firearms Policy Coalition, which is based out of California. They're doing big things too.
That's true.
But the NRA by and far is bigger than both of them combined. They've been the biggest dog in the fight, and I don't. There are a lot of people like screw the NRA, down with them. But in the big scheme, we actually need them, because if they go away, if the liberal left sees this as a victory, I mean, Pelosi and AOC and the rest of them are really going to pin their ears back and go after every other group. So
yeah, it would probably spell doom for everything.
yeah, they definitely need to make changes and fix it, because they're not, I think, as suited right now. The NRA is in for a terrible future. I think they're going to go down in flames if they keep doing what they're doing. But hey, I am a life member, and people think I dump on them. I just bring out the truth, and sometimes they don't want to hear that.
I mean, granted, federal, national stuff is very different than on a state level. But just look at the work that like Gun Owners of America or Goal has done like locally. We had that gun control bill a few years back that had 64 amendments added on, and Goal made sure that most of them didn't get through. Like, that's amazing. But I mean, do we really see the NRA doing anything like that?
No, the NRA, Goal here in Massachusetts is the NRA's branch in Mass.
Oh, okay.
And the NRA kind of doesn't get involved in states where they know they're not going to win. It's a waste of money for them to work.
I know, but I mean, like on the federal level, like, I don't know, all these things. Granted, there's a lot of things that get introduced that don't make it, but a lot of times they don't even make it to the Senate or House floor. But then you have, these big omnibus bills with like random crap thrown in, or like the bump stock ban. I don't know. I guess I'm just a little disenchanted.
Well, we all are. I mean, the NRA single-handedly, and I've done a video on it. You got Chris Cox and Wayne LaPierre in their own words, in their own publicly released videos, just championing the bump stock ban and saying every state should have an extreme risk protection order, as long as they have due process, which it's impossible to have due process the way it's set up. But they're behind it, and as soon as they came out in favor of it, it opened the floodgates.
Right. I mean, and I get that, maybe they thought it was just a feel-good thing because, as we've talked about last time when I was on your channel, these like extreme risk protection orders, like those laws pretty much already exist. There's already mandated reporting and duty to warn and all of those things already put in place within like the medical system, the mental health system, the school system, all of those. So we don't need this extra thing. And I mean, maybe people on the NRA board know that, and they're like, oh, well, this will just like make it look good. But these red flag bills add this extra step of just no due process whatsoever. Yes, we have mandated reporting, and it doesn't, it stops people in that, okay, they need to get evaluated instantly, and then we'll be, detained if that's what needs to happen. But it doesn't like, mandated reporting stuff doesn't result in instantly being visited by, a police officer or sheriff or whatever being like, hey, we're coming and we're taking your stuff.
Right. And if you look at the reality of it, especially on my end, in my career zone, you're not going to get a single judge that's going to be that judge who says no to a red flag request. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
That in and of itself pretty much guarantees that somebody's rights going to be revoked, at hearsay, and we can't allow that to happen. I mean, it's happening at an alarming rate, but we got to step up and stop it.
Right. I mean, in these blue states, especially like Massachusetts, I mean, my God, it's so anti-gun that I feel like it could easily turn into one of those things where you see it with restraining orders a lot. It's like, oh, okay, well, I don't like this person, so I'm going to go put an order on them just because I can. And there's no due process, so it's not investigated. And any person that I know that has gone through a Massachusetts court for any firearms related issue was basically laughed out of the court by the judge themselves.
Absolutely.
So there's no way that anyone's going to actually get any due process in states like Massachusetts, New York, California, any of those with these red flag laws. I mean, it just seems like a roundabout backdoor way of going through confiscation.
It absolutely 100% is. And I'd say, even to add on to the states you mentioned, any state that has judges that are politically appointed, and those states are, left-wing states, you're going to have this problem. If not today, it's going to happen. And like I said, here in Massachusetts, our restraining orders are called 209As for domestic violence, and the red flag doesn't do anything that the 209As don't do, with the exception of violating your Second Amendment. That's it. That's the only difference.
Right. I mean, and now it puts you guys in like an extra dangerous position where, like, okay, before you might just be serving a restraining order, but now you're also going into a situation where, you know, you're walking into a situation where you know that there's someone that is armed, that is pissed off because they're getting their stuff taken away. And wasn't it in Baltimore where there was like an armed confrontation and a guy died?
Guy was murdered.
Yeah.
So I know I get a ton of questions on it. Yes, I'm a cop. No, I won't serve him. It's unconstitutional. I don't believe in them, and if it comes down to it, I'm choosing my oath and my country over an unconstitutional demand. But I can't say the rest of the guys and gals on the job nationwide will do that. They should. They should all band together. But unfortunately, it's going to lead to somebody getting hurt that shouldn't get hurt over somebody's political expediency. You know, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you know, and I'm thinking back to some of the cases that have happened locally before red flag laws were even a thing. There was that guy that was he was peeing. Someone saw him peeing in his backyard, and so they called the police, and the police showed up and found that he was a gun collector and had 100 guns, and they just like seized them right there. I think it was where it was somewhere local. Like I want to say it was like Lakeville or Berkeley or someplace like that. Kind of a little like podunk South Shore.
Yeah, and they said he had he had amassed a war chest of weapons, and it wasn't really that impressive.
No. And then he had like some random things that they like random pieces of artillery and something that they said that he had like stolen from a cemetery or something, even though there's no proof of that. But I mean, so if you can get your guns taken away for peeing in your own backyard, anyone will be able to put it in extreme risk protection for any reason.
Yeah, it's crazy. And doing the videos and research that I do on them, like every state has subtle differences, but the most concerning stuff is some of the states now are putting in a clause where when you go to fight to clear your name, A, you're not given a court-appointed attorney because you're not technically charged with a crime. And B, the accuser can now remain anonymous in some of these states. So I don't know how you can have due process when you can't confront your accuser, which is what this country was founded on. It's the rules. It's the rules and regulations of the country. And they're trying to just go around all that stuff now.
Right. No, I mean, I guess that doesn't really surprise me because you see that with DCF cases. A lot of times, like, for those of you that don't know, it's like Department of Children and Families. It's basically Child Protective Services. So when you are a mandated reporter and you have to file, you have to tell the person that it was you. But anyone else that ever files is supposed to remain anonymous. That doesn't always happen. But, like, so it doesn't surprise me that if they would have those rules around Child Protective Services, that they would have them around these extreme risk orders.
Yeah, any way to screw the people who aren't paying attention, they're going to do it.
Yeah. So speaking of like doing research for these videos, like you are like steeped in this stuff. You are immersed. Like, I mean, sometimes I see you put up like 3 or 4 videos a day sometimes. Yeah. And how do you do it without going completely crazy?
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's tough. So, I mean, you live in the state. Sometimes stuff comes down just in our state, left and right. You got, certain towns that want to make a vote happen immediately to shut down a range because, a firing range has been there for 100 years and they just happen to buy the house near it and all of a sudden want the whole history of the world to change because they bought a house.
Or they build a school next to it and then complain that there's a firing range next to a school.
Yeah. The people who buy the airport property because it's cheap and then bitch about the planes flying overhead, it's
right.
But stuff happens sometimes. Unfortunately, bad stuff happens in bunches when it comes to the Second Amendment and anti-gun laws, and I try to get everything out as fast as I can. And oftentimes, my work schedule doesn't allow it. So that's when I try to play catch up with the 3, 4, 5 videos a day sometimes, which is tough to do.
I can imagine. I just can't. I don't know how you keep up with it that much. Like I I mean, granted, like I don't really have much of a commute or anything, but like, so I try to, scroll through my Feedly every day and look at the news and try to listen to like Ben Shapiro or different little podcasts here and there. And if I do that for like 3 days in a row, I get burnt out.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, at my job, like pretty much every client that comes in is talking about how much they hate Trump and conservatives. So like I'm hearing it for 8 hours a day, but still, like, I just, I don't know how you do it.
I do it because I love it. It's not only is it my career, it's something I care about. And I took my oath seriously. I still do. And I seriously believe that these laws are infringements and they need to be stopped. And there aren't a lot of spots, at least when I started the channel, there weren't a lot of spots where you could go to find that information. So I just thought I'd put out, snippets about the news and try to keep it short and to the point, no fluff, just fact. And luckily it's starting. I mean, it's not as big as your channel, but it's getting there.
Well, I mean, who knows what's going on with that now? Like weird things, I will admit, weird things start to happen once you hit 100,000. You may or may not get kicked off of PayPal like I did. You may or may not suddenly get randomly attacked by communists for 3 days in a row with some death threats and people telling you, Mussolini is proof that you were right, or no, you're proof that Mussolini was right. Like, I don't even know what that means. I guess that they were saying that I need to be killed or something because I'm a dirty capitalist. I don't know, but there was 3 solid days where I was like getting death threats from communists on Twitter. So that happened, and the PayPal thing happened, and the 100,000 thing happened, all within a span of like 3 or 4 days.
Jesus.
And then I hit 100, and then my channel just died.
Yeah,
it's been like stagnant.
Yeah, I mean, my channel, I went through a big growth spurt about a month and a half ago where I was gaining, 600-700 a day, and I was like, yes, it's finally gonna happen. And now I'm like, I've lost about 3,000 views. I mean, subscribers. I don't know how it's happening, but
oh my god,
it is what it is. But I'm still gonna plug along, and hopefully I'll join the magical 100K ring. But regardless of, I'm gonna keep doing it. So I get a lot of those comments, and you're a cop, so no matter what, it doesn't. You're a slave to the government and stuff. But not all people are bad people. Every job has jerks, but rest assured that this guy is in everybody's corner, and there should be a lot more of us, but it is what it is.
There should. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that get into it for the wrong reasons, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
I don't disagree with you.
All right, so I'm going to try to scroll through here. I apologize, everyone, that I'm like looking at these on my phone because I don't know. I don't even know what the live stream looks like. I hope that it looks good. I had the window open to try to keep an eye on it and keep an eye on the super chats, and it was just like pixelated fuzz. So hopefully that's not what you guys are getting. So let's see. Let me look through at the super chats. Oh my god, you guys. You need to stop. So Gun Website says, happy birthday and congrats on 100K and first live show. Thank you. Hopefully, if I do this again, it will go a little bit more smoothly. I have this terrible disease, we'll call it, where I walk into a room and electronics die. So it's a little problematic.
I'll verify that because a couple times she was on my channel and would just cut out and her mic stopped working and
well, I mean, and even when you were trying to come on, you're like, I don't know what was going on. I was just on another live stream and everything was working perfectly, and now my equipment won't work. It's because you were trying to talk to me.
That's it. Yeah.
Call Me Ninja says greetings from Newfoundland and happy 20th birthday. Oh, that's sweet. We'll go with that. We'll say it's 20. John Ricketts says woo. And British Pete says, happy birthday, Liberty. So looking forward to the stream. Does Guns and Gadgets like coffee and P.O. boxes? Do you like coffee?
I love it. It's the only thing that keeps me alive.
Oh my God. I had 3 cups today and I can't even tell. Yes. So British Pete actually has some access to some really great coffee. The only thing about it is the brand. It's called, I think, Coffee by Design. And so the logo has a little CBD, and I posted a picture of it, and everyone was like, oh my God, you have pot coffee? No, I do not have pot coffee. I assure you, it is regular coffee.
That's a good one.
And like everyone was like, for a while, everyone was like, pot coffee. And I didn't get it. I was like, what do you mean? Where are you getting this from? I don't understand.
Although somebody watching right now is about to make $1 billion because that's a bag of cash investment.
Right?
Making pot coffee.
Go do it. Maybe we can get some royalties or something.
Yeah, remember Liberty Doll and Guns and Gadgets, guys.
My IP. John Ricketts says 100,000. Demented Liquor. Okay. Says happy birthday. Love your channel. Fit and Fire. Oh, I like Fit and Fire. He's the man. He says, hi, Liberty. Congrats on all the success. Everyone should check out his channel as well. He's good people. Let's see. Oh, man, I missed lots of chats. I'm sorry, guys. Christoph Harfer says, hey, Santa Roga surplus. Congrats. Keep going. Let's get this party going. I apologize if I'm saying any words wrong, too. I was falling asleep for like the last 2 hours. And Jim Nugent says, thank you both for keeping us informed about these issues. NRA needs to be restructured from the ground up. That is the truth. Absolutely. Congratulations on the 100K. Happy birthday as well. Thank you. And I think that's it for now. I think we got them. Yes. Okay. All right, so let me pop this back. Oh, ECOS. I never know how to say that. ECOS says that I need merch. So I do need merch. And whenever I talk about this, it ends up being on a live stream, and then I see comments later of people saying that they're bored and turned it off just because I talked about this. But long story short, I have gone through several logo artists that either stopped answering me or ran away with my money or various other things. I finally asked a friend of mine, and he said that he could do it, but that he needed to buy a new computer, and that was like a month ago, and I haven't heard anything since. So that's the deal with that.
All right. At least he didn't ask you to buy the computer.
No, because then that just would have been no. Oh, goodness. So, let's see. What else should we talk about today? I'm really bad at planning if I don't have a script. Oh, well, how about, so a lot of people ask about, I've actually been getting a lot of comments on this lately on some of my old videos about the assault weapons ban and copycat assault weapons ban in Massachusetts and the multitude of lawsuits that seem like they are always coming up against Maura Healey. And somehow she seems to avoid every single one of them. Now, at this point, are there any left?
Yes and no. The last one that was our shining hope, the U.S. Court of Appeals voted 3-0 to support Healey, and basically say that it was okay to take our rights based off of somebody's reinterpretation. But that case, from what I'm told, will be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Will they take it up? They haven't taken up a Second Amendment case in a very long time. And as long as Justice Roberts and Weekend at Bernie's, Ruth Bader Ginsburg are there, I don't know if they will. I don't know. Has anybody seen Ruth Bader Ginsburg since she broke a rib?
I was just going to say, like, I keep seeing memes saying that no one has seen her and that she's either died or a reptilian. It could be either one.
It's funny. They were quick to put out a picture, and actually TMZ had a video of her walking through the airport, and they were filming her. But it was debunked almost within an hour because it was a video from like a year earlier.
Really?
Yeah, it was the same hair, same people, and walking past her. So that was debunked. So as far as I know, and I don't follow her, I don't care, but nobody's seen her from what I'm told.
Well, you would think, like, you know, since so many people are like, oh, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's like the last bastion of liberal thought on the Supreme Court. She's our only hope. You know, she's single-handedly going to stop Trump. You would think that someone that is on this high of a pedestal, like, I don't know, they'd be putting out some updates or something.
Well, they'll keep her, even if she is like in a crypt right now. They're not going to tell us. They won't tell us until there's a Democrat in the corner office at all.
Or they just like keep having her on life support. That's terrible to say. I shouldn't say any of those things. I
But
mean,
it's true.
I'm sure that she is a lovely woman. I just do not trust the government.
Absolutely.
With pretty much anything.
Absolutely. Nobody should.
Including and not limited to the truth. Oh, I'm really disappointed that, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that Maura Healey is still Maura Healeying around. Now, like, I mean, she was just, when is she up for, well, when can we get her out, I guess is the better. Well, I don't know if we'll ever get her out because, I mean, it's not like the AG really does much in terms of like, you know, public stances, I guess I should say, really. I mean, it's not like Maura Healey has the traction on social media or anything as, say, like Elizabeth Warren. But I mean, when can she go?
Well, we lost the opportunity this past year in November to replace her with a fantastic candidate,
Right.
Jay McMahon. And Jay, I might be giving away a little early, but Jay's going to run again.
Okay.
This time he'll have the whole election process to gear up and get his name out more. But and she doesn't do anything other than sue Trump and step on the Second Amendment, and that's pretty much what she's.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's all she does.
Mm-hmm.
And then here in Mass, it's terrible for us because we got to pay for her to launch the lawsuit because she uses taxpayer money, and then we have to pay with taxpayer money to defend her when people sue her back. So we're getting it left and right. She needs to go.
She does.
If you get a thumbs down from this video, it's her. Believe me.
Yeah, I do get some of those, and I you know, some people are convinced it's like Maura Healey and Bernie Sanders, but I mean, I feel like if they were really watching my channel, then I would hope that like something would seep in. So I don't think so. I think it's just internet randos.
Yeah, well, she's definitely not a fan of mine. We've met each other several times, and
really,
oh yeah, she knows who I am, and I get the dirty looks and stuff. Yeah, it's
oh my God, does she have cold dead eyes? I feel like she should have cold dead eyes.
Yeah, she's not a fan. Not a fan at all.
So speaking of people not being fans, what do you think of this most recent social media purge where Laura Southern's gone, Paul Joseph Watson, or not Lauren Southern, Laura Loomer, Paul Joseph Watson, James Wood just got suspended from Twitter again.
Yeah,
all of these conservatives. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can necessarily call them mainstream conservatives, but
well, it's just a way to suppress the other opinions in the country, and I guess, I mean, how do you stop that? They can say, you know, this is my court, I'm taking my ball and going home, which is because it's their business. But at some point, we should be able to, at least maybe a class action lawsuit. It is a suppression of somebody's freedom of speech.
Right.
But again, it's their business, it's their arena, and they can control how the lights are lit. They can control what the temperature is set at. So it's a tough give and take. Right. The ebb and flow is kind of difficult.
It is tough because, I mean, on the one hand, they are a company and can choose to do business the way they see fit. But I mean, it comes back to that, I think, that argument back, you know, with the Zuckerberg hearings of, you know, a platform versus just, you know, a publisher and what that means, and which of the two has the ability to shut down some sites and not others. I mean, and just the fact that I was reading about this morning, and I read maybe half a dozen articles about these latest social media purges, and each one had a different reason, said a different reason as to why Facebook did it. They said fake news was one of them. One of them they called like Milo and Paul Joseph Watson and all them dangerous extremists. Yeah. There was another article that said that they had been election meddling, which was one I hadn't heard of. And then there was also like the Russian collusion thing. And it's like, okay, so really, which one is it?
But they still allow, you know, their streams from terrorist groups that are still in this country, they're allowed to perpetuate their stuff, right? But those who are based on constitutional fact can't talk. That says everything you need to know right there.
Right. I mean, and they always say like, oh, we don't have these different sets of standards. We don't have these different sets of standards. But I mean, all the evidence points to the fact that they do. And even things like, here on YouTube, it used to be, I mean, and this could just be in nature of like, say, my audience changing or something like that. But it used to be that anything that I posted that had to do with guns, Second Amendment, anything like that instantly like exploded. That was the most popular stuff. It had the most comments, the most views. That's what people wanted. That's what they wanted to see. That's what they wanted to talk about. I post something like that now, and it's like, I mean, I'm still getting views, but it's not anything like any of my other videos. Number one. Number two, like, when you hit the 100,000 or whatever, it's supposed to be that within that first week, within 7 days, YouTube takes a look at your channel and then is supposed to, be like, oh, hey, yeah, you hit 100,000. Here's your play button, da 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 da. But they have to approve you for it. I have not gotten anything from them. It's been 2 weeks now, maybe a little over 2 weeks, and I'm actually sort of afraid to email them and be like, hey, what's up? Did you check my channel? Because I'm like, okay, well, did they check it and it's just not approved? Or do they not know about me? Do I want them to know about me? I mean, I don't want some sweeping ban hammer to come through or... Because, I mean, they do. They throttle Second Amendment and conservative channels. There's been so much evidence out there about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, both you and I are both victim of it. I mean, I put up videos, and before I even make them go live, they're demonetized just off of typing. So it's
right.
They definitely have an agenda.
They do. I mean, and the fact that, like, I don't know, they have some algorithm that can... go through your video before it's even posted and decide whether it's like dangerous or unsavory in some way. I mean, on the one hand, I get why they do it, but I mean, none of their policies are transparent at all.
No, that's the ambiguity and clouded areas where they live, which makes them hundreds of millions. G-Webs in the comment section says that you'll get an email with a link for the silver play button. So hopefully it'll...
Well, yeah, so that's what I read, that I would get like an email or that I would get like a notification in my Creator Studio, and I've gotten nothing. And, YouTube's own site says that you will get that within a week. I haven't gotten anything.
Well, I guess I'm screwed then. If they're not giving it to you, I'm definitely done.
But I don't know. Let's see. Let me check through this. I am being a bad person and not like looking through these. Oh my goodness. Wow, there's a lot of you here. So Clover Tack. Oh no, Flying Falcon. Was there any before that? Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. So we have Garand Man says a birthday present for you. Thanks for what you do. Well, thank you. Let's see. Flying Falcon says looking pretty damn good for 20. At least you haven't caught the autism. I love that joke. You guys will know if it ever happens. Clover Tack says, just a hey and a little birthday money for some disc golf supplies. Glad you got the stream up. Yes, thank you. Everyone, Clover Tack helped me set this up. He took time out of his day to help me figure this out because I didn't know what I was doing.
He's a good dude. I finally met him in person at the NRA show. He's a solid guy.
Oh, you met him? I don't even know what he looks like, but we've chatted several times. This isn't me. Sent a super chat for being late. Burris Streaming says, Liberty Doll in America, y'all happy B-Day, 100K. And Keith McDonald says, what is your future plans and changes to grow your channel and for you too? I'm not good at... Well, you go first because I don't know how to answer that.
As far as changing the channel, I really don't think I want to because... I mean, well, let's put it this way. I'd like to expand but I definitely want to keep my core because I think that's what my viewership they're here on my channel for, is for the Second Amendment news and different infringements. But I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you I want to get out to the range more and shoot and have a little more fun on the channel. Like I got, I don't know if you can see it. I got a table there of goodies that I came home with from NRA. So I got some builds that I'm going through right now, and some parts that I'm teening for some rifles and stuff. So that will be coming to the channel. And I mean, ammos and stuff is expensive. So as I can get to it, we'll get out to the range more and add more of that stuff to the channel.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I know that I get requests for that stuff too, and I just like my range is weird. They don't like photography, they don't like videos being taken, and so you're only allowed to do any sort of photography or videos on the outdoor range because it's actually in a separate location.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only, I think, 3 lanes, and they're like 200 yards long. They are really, really long. And you're really only allowed to do it if no one else is around. And there's never no one else around. It's like a really bizarre setup.
Well, let me ask. We got a bunch of people here. Let me ask them. Would you like to see maybe Liberty Doll hook up with me at my range and we do some shooting there and put it on video? Because I can guarantee you my range is all for filming.
I didn't even think of that. Oh no, you're going to give people ideas. As far as what I'm, well, I mean, I guess, yeah, people are saying yes. So, I mean, I guess that's something to put on the channel in the future. Oh boy.
There you go.
Oh man.
No
Oh
pressure.
no. Oh no. I'll have to practice more first. I don't have depth perception, and so that can sometimes be problematic.
That's all right. I'm an instructor. We can work with you.
As far as other things for my channel, really, I'm just trying to get content out more often. It can be really hard. Editing takes a lot of time. Filming, writing, all of that takes a lot of time. And I do have a full-time job. I'm trying to, actually, it's over full-time. So I've been trying to scale it back to normal full-time slowly. People are unhappy about that, but that's what I've been trying to do. So fun fact, I saw someone in here said something about now we're all on an FBI watch list. So I guess this kind of has to do with channels growing. So I watched Blair White. I really enjoy Blair White, actually. I think she's ab fab. And I do watch all of her videos, and she posted one, oh God, I think it was late last year, talking about, you know, what it's like being a YouTuber and some of the things that she's witnessed being on shows like Dave Rubin and talking to Ben Shapiro and all of these people. And one of the things that she said that really concerned me is she says that she's actually been visited by the FBI several times.
Really?
And I found that to be really chilling and a little frightening. And I was like, oh, I mean, granted, she does a lot of the anti-social justice stuff, but I'm like, oh man, does that mean like, I mean, how often do conservative and libertarian and liberty YouTubers get visited by the FBI? Like, is that a thing? Is that something that happens on any kind of regular basis?
No, anytime the alphabet soup is going to come out and visit you, that's because they were maybe somebody said that you're a threat, or you said something that might have constituted like civil rights bashing. But I don't think you have to worry about anything.
Okay, because I low-key got pretty scared when I heard that. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Especially being anyone considered like not liberal in Massachusetts. I don't know if actually, so that's a good question, actually. I don't know if that's something that you really like feel or notice, because I would imagine in your profession there, you know, are a lot of pro-gun people and stuff like that. I mean, do you have trouble being like a pro-gun person or, you know, conservative or whatever in Massachusetts? Is that something that, like, I don't know, you feel weighing on you?
Absolutely. Especially in this field, you can anger a lot of higher ups as you unveil more of the truth behind some of the things that the state's trying to do. I am lucky. My chief is very pro Second Amendment. In fact, he subs to the channel. So,
oh, cool.
But I don't know. I've gotten to that point in my life where I don't care. I mean, if I piss somebody off because I'm telling the truth, and so be it. You know, I've taken a lot of flack throughout my whole career for being that guy who has no filter, says it like it is, and I don't really care the repercussions. But yeah, this career is, you know, being in police work and law enforcement. It's weird because a lot of the line guys and gals, they're pro Constitution right, and you know, there's not everybody, not 100%, but a vast majority of them, they're for gun rights. They go shooting all the time, and but it's where you get your chiefs of police, especially those who are appointed by, you know, mayors or governors, if they're colonels and stuff of the state police. They're typically political people. I mean, and they got the job because they have the same political views as their appointed power. So Charlie Baker is going to appoint a colonel to the Mass State Police based off of how they align with his goals and his direction. You know, he would never put somebody in who's pro-Constitution and pro-2A like myself, you know, because we would be bashing all day long, and I don't think he wins that debate. But yeah, it's a weird little, it's a weird dynamic, and it's not just in this one; it's in politics too. You're not going to see many pro-2A people on committees that have pro-2A bills that are, you know, that are brought up for discussion a lot. It doesn't go to their agenda well.
Right. I mean, and especially in Massachusetts, I don't remember if I had been saying this to you or if I said it. I think I even said it on my stream that I just did for my patrons last week. I mean, some people say, well, oh, you know, is it really that dangerous to be a conservative or be a libertarian in Massachusetts or some of these other blue states? And, oh, you know, is that really, are you just blowing it out of proportion? I mean, I don't think so. So, I mean, I'm not technically a conservative. I'm a libertarian, but I'm a very right-leaning libertarian. I agree with conservatives on way more things than I will ever agree with liberals. But I mean, there was this study that was done. I saw it on some social media site recently where they polled people in every county in the country. You know, if they were conservative, they asked their views of liberals, and if they were liberal, they asked their views of conservatives. And while Florida was the most biased state of liberals against conservatives, Massachusetts was a big runner-up. You know, they had the whole country color-coded, and I mean, Massachusetts was pretty bad for political bias against conservatives. It was, I mean, I had suspected it because I live here and I see that, but I'm like, oh, you know, am I biased in some way? Is it just confirmation bias? But like, no, the numbers were there. Like, it is awful. Yeah. I mean, and it got to the point the other day when, you know, I was getting all those messages from the communists and stuff like that. Then they were talking on Twitter and they found out that I was a therapist. And so I was like, oh my God, are they going to like hunt me down? I took my picture off my business listings.
Really?
Because I was afraid that they might find it and like dox me somehow. And I mean, I have on an almost daily basis people coming in and, you know, saying, oh, well, the worst thing in the world are Trump supporters and conservatives are terrible. And, you know, anyone that isn't liberal is a racist. And I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, but that doesn't matter. If I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, you might as well have voted for Trump, according to these people. I mean, and so being an outlier in this state is terrifying sometimes. I mean, even like, you know, people you know, there's been some people that have been kind enough to like send me some t-shirts and stuff like that, and or different things, and I'm like afraid to wear them in public. I'm even afraid to wear a Second Amendment t-shirt to breakfast. And the couple times that I have gotten some dirty looks. And my county is considered a red county
Right.
in Massachusetts. And I am still getting these dirty looks from people at breakfast if I wear, a Second Amendment shirt or a shirt that's like, oh, look at these guns. It's
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go shooting, and we'll make sure that you'll start wearing those shirts with pride, because if anybody does anything, they'll realize why you wear that shirt.
Well, I mean, hopefully. I mean, I don't ever want it to come to that, but
well, you should never be put in fear based off your beliefs, no matter what it is, whether it's Second Amendment related or anything else. But
right.
I'm crazy. I mean, I wore a Hillary for Prison shirt going to see Governor Baker's office. So
that is amazing. That is amazing. Oh man, I mean, it's a good thing. I'd like to say that they can't arrest you for that, but you never know.
Nah, just a t-shirt, man.
They might try to like kick you out of the state house or something.
Oh yeah, they try.
Okay, case in point. Oh goodness. So I don't know if you heard. I don't know how much you follow the bigger politics, but Bill Weld is getting out there and saying that he's going to try to throw his hat into the ring for the upcoming election, I guess. And he was governor of Massachusetts for a time in the 90s, right?
Yeah, he was our governor, and at the time he wasn't libertarian. He's switched to libertarian. But some of his views are
switched.
Yeah, some of those views are odd. He's an odd duck, that Bill Weld. I don't think he stands a chance, honestly. But
no. I mean, my general rule, anyways, is never trust a politician from Massachusetts. You sure as hell can't trust someone like Elizabeth Warren. You can't trust Charlie Baker. He has shown that. You definitely can't trust Mitt Romney, because he's the one that gave us the assault weapons ban permanently, and the one that was like, oh, hey, Massachusetts has its own version of Obamacare now.
Yep.
And so, I mean, anyone from Massachusetts, I mean, any politician I automatically regard with distrust, but one from Massachusetts especially, oh, God, watch out.
Yeah, the actual good ones are few and far between, and they're so outnumbered. It's like they get their teeth kicked in every day at work. So yeah, it's tough to find the good ones, but when you do, they definitely need our support. We got a couple out here in my area that I tell them, the first time you screw up, I'll run against you, and they're doing a hell of a job.
Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, we need something, that's for sure. All right, let me check back with some super chats again, because we are getting close to the 10 o'clock hour. Let's see. Wow, someone had the
website says he wants both of us to answer. If there's time for it, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh my God, the deep philosophical questions. Is a hot... Well, I mean, I guess so. What would be the definition of a sandwich? I mean, does it just require something between two slices of bread?
We'd have to ask Earl himself, the Earl of Sandwich, right?
I guess so. Well, I mean, so in my family growing up, we did not have the biggest grocery budget. And so when we had hot dogs, we would put them literally between two slices of white bread. So I guess in that aspect, yes, the hot dog was a sandwich.
Same thing with a burger. Like, is a burger a sandwich? I think it's its own class. It's a hamburger. But in theory, you could say it's a sandwich.
Right. Oh, Yeah, it is kind of in its own category, isn't it? Cool, because I mean, I guess if it's just between two bread products, then like a quesadilla would technically be a sandwich, right?
Yeah, it's just Mexican grilled cheese.
Mexican grilled cheese. Side note, I actually love Mexican food. Mexican food is bomb. Let's see. Oh, wow. There's like tons of people in the chat, man. I really was gonna try to keep up with it tonight, but it's like really small on my phone, and I don't know what's going on with my internet. Oh, actually, it's down to 1 bar. That's great. Thank you, Comcast. I pay you $150 a month for nothing.
They're throttling you.
You know, it could be. It could be. They knew. They like monitor my my social media stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, she's gonna have a live stream.
Yeah,
We've got
she's
to
got that
kill
guy
this
on.
now."
Yeah, she's got that guy on.
Right?
Quick, stop it.
I mean, I figure like I mean, I know I'm blacklisted somewhere. I donated to Ron Paul in like 2012. I know that I'm on a whole bunch of lists somewhere. You know, okay, the Bug Killer sent some money for a range trip fund. Crafty Bastard said happy birthday, doll. Oh, can I say bastard on YouTube?
You just did.
He said I said it twice. He said congrats on 100K. Happy birthday. Keep it up. Stay crafty. Archer says that he owns 7 guns, and I just assumed his gender. He says, the way I see it is, I'm not stockpiling weapons. These are like my golf clubs. Yes, I will use them to defend myself if absolutely necessary, but people are too quick to forget that it's also a sport. Right. I mean, I get that question a lot. Like, people will be like, oh, how many guns do you own? And then they'll be like, oh, well, do you have them? Like, do they all do the same thing? Well, I mean, technically, yes, they all shoot, but they all have different purposes, you know, between pistols and shotguns and rifles and all that. I think that covers the super chat. And someone said only 7. So I was going to say something else, and then I completely forgot. But we are getting close to 10 o'clock, and I promised I wouldn't keep you for much more than an hour. So I guess we will start to wrap it up. If anyone has any like last-minute questions or anything like that. Let's see.
I'd like to say thanks to everybody for coming on and supporting her on her first live stream. I remember my first one, which was you, by the way, and we didn't have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't have quite this.
Oh, no way!
Yep.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So thank you, everybody. I know as a content creator, I know when you look over and you have people in support of what you're doing, it actually keeps the fire going. So continued success. Congratulations on 100,000. Happy birthday, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm jealous of what you've done the last couple months. So good job.
Oh, thank you. Well, lots of nights with no sleep. If I'm going to be real.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I'm like up at 3 a.m. editing, must finish. Oh, okay. Another 2 super chats came through, so I will read those real quick, and then I guess we will say goodbye. Thank you, everyone, for being patient and dealing with this. Hopefully the picture isn't too bad. Operation Blackout, fighting against Oh Yeah Yes. Is that a name? Or is that... I think that's just his name. All right. I don't know. I might be wrong. Okay, cool. And Kent Witham also sent one through. We have some applauses. Deep questions. What does liberty mean? I don't know if we have time for that. Oof. All right. I feel so disorganized. This was really nerve-wracking, actually. So I'm glad that it went well and nothing shit the bed. Nothing died, as far as I know. So thank you for coming on and sharing my first stream with me. I think it's pretty cool that I was your first stream, and now we've come full circle and in weirdness.
Well, my pleasure. I'm happy to do it, and you know, you're not too far from me. We live literally minutes from each other. So anytime I can help you out, I'd be happy to do it. And
so tell everyone all your social media links, because that's the thing that you're supposed to do, right? Do that.
Guns and Gadgets. You can search it on. I'm on pretty much everything: YouTube, gun channels, gun streamer, of course, the Instagram, Facebook. I do a little bit of Twitter. I'm not really a Twitter fan. But you can, any description of any one of my videos has all my links, so check them out there.
Cool. All right. For the last time, everyone, thanks for tuning in and watching this and making this fun. The time went by really fast, actually. I will make sure next time, if I do this again, well, if you guys want me to do this again, I'll make sure that YouTube doesn't randomly decide to start the event 15 minutes early without me. Because that was really weird. I still don't know why that happened. It's my weird EMP. But Thanks for watching. If you guys are here, you know who I am, so you don't need my links. So I will see you guys again. Thanks for watching and helping me to spread the message of liberty. Bye.
Take care, everybody.